Let me begin with a simple question. What is more valuable in a business, a brilliant employee or a brilliant system? Most organizations immediately say both, but look at how they actually operate. One person knows how to close the biggest deal. One engineer understands the complete product. One operations manager knows the complete process. One founder approves every important decision in the organization. And whenever something goes wrong, everyone looks for that person. We call them indispensable. We call them high performers. We call them superstars. But sometimes a superstar is simply a talented person compensating for a weak organization. That's true. Because when the business depends on one person to rescue it repeatedly, that is not strength, that is fragility. Toyota built its reputation on a very different belief. Exceptional businesses should not depend on exceptional moments. They should create systems that make excellence repeatable. That's the story of Toyota. But it is also a story of liquid ocean because continuous reinvention is impossible without systems they can observe and learn and improve. Talent may create the next idea, but systems allow the organizations to keep evolving after the talented person leaves. We love business heroes. The founder who never sleeps, the salesperson who saves the quarter. Toyota asked a very different question. Why did the problem occur in the first place? And what must change that it does not reoccur? This is the difference between fixing an incident and improving an organization. Toyota could not compete on scale. Toyota did not begin with the advantage of the large American automobile industry. It did not have unlimited capital. It did not have enormous demand. It could not produce huge quantities of the same car and hope the market would absorb them. Toyota had to work within constraints. It needed to produce different vehicles in smaller quantities. It had to reduce waste. It had to protect quality. And it had to use its people and resources more intelligently. Instead of copying the biggest companies, Toyota designed a system appropriate for its own reality. This is an important entrepreneurial principle. Do not copy another company's method without understanding the assumptions behind them. Large companies can hide their waste for long. Startups cannot. One of the most powerful ideas associated with Toyota is the ability to stop the production when a problem is detected. Now, you can ask me, Hari, is it not impractical? Is it not inefficient? Factories make money when the production line is moving. Why would you allow a worker to stop it? Now, because Toyota understood something very different, many large organizations still don't understand. Continuing with the problem is often more expensive than stopping it right away. When a defect is discovered, the objective is to not hide it and inspect it later. The objective is to prevent it from happening again. Find the cause, correct the process, learn from the failure, and that's how you create amazing systems. At first glance, Toyota appears to represent stability. Netflix represents reinvention. Toyota represents processes. Netflix represents disruption. But the two stories are very deeply connected. Netflix teaches us reinvent before success expires. Toyota teaches us build the systems that make continuous reinvention possible. Liquid ocean is not about changing the direction randomly. It is not about launching new strategy every 6 months. It is not about chasing every new technology. Liquid ocean means creating organizational ability to observe change, learn faster, and continuously design value. Toyota's system does exactly that. every problem becomes a success. Every signal becomes a learning. Every learning improves the standard. And every improved standard strengthens the organization. That is continuous reinvention at an operating level. Netflix demonstrates liquid ocean at the business model level, and Toyota represents liquid ocean at the system level. One changes what the company becomes. The other changes how the company continuously becomes better. If you've been following my video series, I always stress upon four key aspects: story, value, execution, and reputation. What does Toyota's story tell us? Toyota's story is just not about manufacturing cars. It has a deeper story, and that is we continuously improve how value is created. The organization does not assume that today's best method will remain tomorrow's best method. That is liquid ocean mindset. The company's identity is not tied to the one perfect process. Its identity is tied to improving the process. If you look at value, Toyota does not begin with activity. It begins with what customer needs: quality, reliability, affordability, most importantly, approachability, and deliver without unnecessary delay or waste. This distinction really matters. A business can become very efficient at producing things customers do not want. That is not excellence. That is efficient irrelevance. A system must always begin with customer value in mind. Execution is where Toyota becomes extraordinary. The value is translated into visible workflows, standards, signals, quality checks, and problem solving. Employees become responsible, and continuous reinvention becomes a part of the norm. Execution is not left to the individual memory. It is built into the way the organization operates. When you look at reputation, Toyota does, if for example Toyota, people don't see how the car is manufactured, they experience the result. The car starts every time they put the key inside. The product performs consistently, the service is dependable, the organization keeps its promise. Over time, repeated execution becomes trust, and trust becomes reputation. This gives us the important principle that a brand is not a promise company makes once. A brand is the process where it promises the system can produce the quality repeatedly. When you look at the liquid ocean systems loop, I have 5 principles in it: observe, standardize, signal, learn, and reinvent. Let me connect to Toyota's story and explain what I mean. Observe what is happening in the real world. Where is the delay? Where is the waste? What are customers struggling? Where are employees creating workarounds? Where is technology changing expectations? Liquid ocean organizations do not wait for annual strategy meetings to understand the reality. They observe continuously. If you look at the standardization part, define the best known methods today. This is important because a standard is not a final answer. It is the best answer as on date. Without a standard, everybody starts improvising, and that's when the organizations go topsy-turvy. When everyone works differently, the organization cannot clearly understand what works and what does not. Standardization creates a baseline for learning. If you look at the signal, make the abnormalities real. When the process fails, does the organization know immediately? Or does it discover an issue after the customer complains? For a software company, the signal may be in failing adoption. For sales, it may be deals remaining too long in one stage. For consulting, it may be meetings that produce no decision. For leadership, it may be a strategic priority that nobody can explain. A system must reveal the gap between expectation and reality. And when you look at learning, do not ask who caused the failure. Ask what allowed the failure. Was the objective unclear? Was the workflow poorly designed? Was the person inadequately trained? Was the metric encouraging was the wrong one? Was the technology unsuitable? Did the business promise something it could not deliver? This shifts the organization's blame to learning. If you look at the reinvention piece, use these learnings to improve the system, change the process, change the product, change the customer experience, change the technology, sometimes change the entire business model. This is where Toyota connects directly with the entire concept of liquid ocean. Reinvention does not begin with when the company is in crisis. It happens continuously through small, disciplined improvements. Some people hear the word system and immediately imagine bureaucracy. More approvals, more documentation, more control, having spots where entire decision making is stuck, more meetings, but that is not the kind of system Toyota represents. A bad system tells people not to think. A good system creates space for better thinking. This gives us the correct relationship between talent and systems. Talent discovers better methods, system preserves and distributes those methods. Let's look at Toyota in the age of AI. Toyota's lessons become more important in today's AI world. Today, companies are automating work before understanding the work. They introduce AI left, right, center into customer support, sales, product management, project management, recruitment, software development, operations. Wherever you see, we have AI coming into picture. But automation does not automatically improve a broken process. If your customer qualification is poor, AI helps you qualify the wrong customers faster. If your product requirements are unclear, AI generates more unclear requirements. If your customer service policy is weak, an AI agent can disappoint thousands of customers in a second. If nobody owns the outcome, AI creates more confusion and faster confusion. Before introducing AI, ask what customer value are we improving? What standards should AI follow? What signal indicates abnormality? When must AI stop? How will failures improve the system? This is the modern version of Toyota's philosophy. Here is a simple audit for your business. Choose one important activity in your business: customer onboarding or sales quantification, product releases, your proposal creation, your complaint resolution, anything. Pick up one area and now ask the question, is the value clear? The outcomes, is the value clear? Does everyone know what outcomes the customer must receive? Or does everybody ask, how differently can we work? Can the team detect failure before the customer does? Or do people simply work harder and just move on? Can the system improve? Does each lesson change how the future of the work is performed? Whenever the answer is no, you have a discovery dependency. A person, a spreadsheet, a founder, memory, an undocumented process. That dependency will not hurt today, but it will eventually catch up with you. Rolex taught us that identity creates enduring value. Lego taught us how to reinvent without losing identity. Patagonia taught us how purpose creates brands. Netflix teaches us to reinvent before success expires, and Toyota teaches us something that connects them all. Reinvention cannot depend on occasional brilliance, it must become a system. And in liquid ocean, where every advantage eventually expires, the strongest organization is not the one with the most talented heroes. It is the one that can continuously observe, learn, improve, and reinvent. Because talent creates exceptional moments, system creates organization that remains exceptional. If you like this video, do hit the subscribe button, like the video, and share it with your friends. Look forward to seeing you next week. Bye bye.